Welcome back. We're looking at the Punch newspaper first. Osun polls. INEC adds SDP to ballot and distributes sensitive materials. The writer for that story, Akpabio Uzodinma, governors arrive for APC mega rally and police grill Fadansi. Economists back. U.S. faults Nigeria's fiscal transparency. Well, I didn't even ask you if you wanted to say anything about the Osun State.
No, we'll definitely still talk
of
about
course
it
we
much
will.
later on the
It's
show.
going to be everywhere. Okay, 2027. I was just looking at the Economists back U.S. and fault Nigeria's fiscal transparency.
Yes.
I think we should discuss
Yeah,
that because that's finance.
It's what we've been saying. When you give numbers, when the debt management office, the Bureau of Statistics, the everything comes up with numbers of inflation is dropping, this one is up, and it does not reflect in the lives of the people. And I've always said it: policies are not meant for just being on the papers. Policies are meant to improve the lives and the quality of living of the people.
Yes,
exactly.
into the living standard.
If you tell me that the economy is stable and I'm still struggling to buy a tuber of yam, if you tell me that what's it called now, inflation rate is dropping and I'm still struggling to buy a pack of tomatoes to cook, and I'm wondering, the women on the streets, the market women, the artisans, do they understand what inflation is? They don't understand whatever it is that are the indices. They just want good life. And so it is difficult to explain to those people that, according to our fiscal budget, the country is doing good, though. We have gained from the last quarter, inflation has dropped. No, the people are more interested in knowing that they can travel from Lagos to Maiduguri to go and buy dry fish, and they will not be abducted. The people want to be sure that whatever business they are doing, the little token they are making from it, they're using it to service the business and also feed their families, not to buy petrol alone. The people want to know that if they go to the market as farmers, they are safe in the market. The people want to know that if they carry their produce from the farm, before it gets to the city center, it's not damaged because of bad roads. So when you say there's improvement in all of these indices, and it's not translating into the quality of life of the people can't sleep well, the people can't feed well, the people can't afford health, the people cannot afford quality education, then you ask yourself, who are you making policies for? Policies are not meant for animals. Just like you always
and they're
say.
not meant to remain on the paper,
They're
on the
meant
sheets
to
of paper, on the
to
computer
have positive
screen.
effect on the life of the people. So if USA is saying that all of these numbers you are giving us, it does not tally. We are seeing your people. Over 70% of your citizens live above $1 per day. Your minimum wage can barely buy a bag of rice. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Even cost of transportation now is killing people. People are literally just earning money, costing their transport every day, and just a recycled process. I told you some days back that sometimes I just take a walk, or maybe I'm just at the bus stop trying to get a cab home, and then you see the faces of Nigerians. I mean, the day is over. People are supposed to go home and rest, but you could see how bothered a lot of them are ahead of what is coming the following day. Even salary earners are borrowing money to even up, and not that they're living any extravagant lifestyle, just the basic. Pay for electricity, pay for security, pay for water, pay for this one. You have children in school. Do you understand? So if the quality of the life of the people is not getting better, it will be difficult to defend policies. For Isaac Adedeji, for instance, for Taiwo Yedele, for instance, and for the Minister of Trade and Investment, for them, the policies are giving them the results that they want. But the quality of life of the people should be paramount. How many times have we seen any major investor come from all of those countries that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had gone to visit? Because the people are seeing the pages of newspaper. They are seeing 10 police officers killed and 17 bandits neutralized. They are seeing that village raid. I was watching the documentary on Boko Haram this morning, very around after 4 there, but I just stumbled on the link and I was watching it. And I found out that, that if this were to be a military government, that Boko Haram would never even exist in that tiny village in Borno State when it all started. And that's the fact. So you have a government that the quality of life of the people is not reflecting on what you are celebrating. So I'm trying to understand where this whole thing is coming from. I'm a number person. I really love to play with numbers. So when I'm looking through and I'm seeing inflation rate has dropped, this one, and I'm like, a tuber of yam that can feed a family of 4, father, mother, 2 children, will probably cost you like 5,000 or 6,000. Do you understand? If you're paying me a minimum wage and a bag of rice is 63,700 naira, if I buy a bag of rice, I will buy gas that is over 1,000 to cook. I will buy pepper. How much is the bulb of onion now, Tom? So these are the concerns. I understand whatever it is that they are saying, but fiscal policies that does not positively affect or affect the life of the people is scam.
It's a scam.
It's absolutely.
Oh, we just heard it from Okwe. Honestly, I just want to reiterate what he said. I strongly agree with him 100%. If there's anything more than that, I would agree with him. We see the numbers. We read these numbers every single day. And I really don't know how that would make anybody who reads the newspapers on a daily basis feel. Because when you see these numbers and it really doesn't tally with what you see outside on the streets, on the roads, you see people who are walking on the streets with pain carrying pain on their faces. And, of course, what you see on the face, is coming from the heart. So you really can't marry the two together because people are sweating, they are walking, they are trekking, there's no transportation. Some of them have no money to take a bus, to take a keke marua.
People trek half of their distance now.
Yes, to be able to pay the remaining half. And some people don't even bother to. I have seen people who look sane walking on Third Mainland Bridge, perhaps they do, because I even saw someone yesterday. And I'm like, I actually looked at the person from head to toe. This person doesn't look insane. This person doesn't look like a mechanic who is waiting for someone's car or truck to break down. This person doesn't seem to be, a menace to society. This person is well-dressed, looks like the head is correct, no mental health issues. So something must be driving that walk on Third Mainland Bridge. This person is not dressed in sports outfit or jogging outfit or walking out outfit. This person is well dressed like, someone who's leaving the office and heading home. Now, on Third Mainland Bridge, I know for certain that there's no bus stop
at all. And that's not one of the safest places you can
walk. So it's not as safe. This person is going to walk half of Third Mainland Bridge and, stop at a bus stop and take a bus. No. So you start to wonder what is happening to people who we're looking up to, to help us. So when we see things like this, of course, US would ask questions because it doesn't tally. And so, for us who read these things every day, sometimes in the same news, every time we read the papers and there's a headline telling us of how much windfall we have made, in one area, in that same newspaper review,
tell you
our poverty level. So we are not, and even we on the table sometimes are, perplexed. We look at each other and like, how does this tally with what we just read? But it is on the papers anyway, and that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be reviewing the papers. So, I think there's something not quite right. Something is missing or someone is missing something, I think there should be some sort of coordination in the financial sector and the, what would I call it, the people who have the responsibility of giving us information, including financial information from the presidency. I think there needs to be some coordination so that we, because we are not the ones looking like fools, or we're not the ones looking funny, they're the ones looking funny at the end of the day. So I think there should be, more coordination. But the truth is that any which way, no matter how coordinated we are, the international community is watching us. I keep saying that they're watching us. They're seeing what we're doing. And that's why they have tagged us irresponsible. They've tagged us terrorists. They've tagged us all sorts of things. And that's why they're not giving Nigerians visas anymore in the American embassy, and stuff like that, you know. So I think it's time for us to, you know, take a deeper look, you know, an inward look, you know, as I always say on the program, and you know, start to reshaping things and ensure that things get back on track, so that, you know, our value in the eyes of the international
We'll go
community
up.
would go up. Okay, so still on the newspaper review, 2027, Atiku Obi more options ahead of single candidate summit. Do you want to say something about that?
Well, I don't know, and I think I made that I made that comment yesterday that the coming together of the entire of the political party, opposition parties, will probably not even make any significant change. I think the coalition lost it when in October 2025, they adopted the ADC, and then there were a lot of people coming together from Kwankwaso to Atiku to David Mark to Peter Obi, you know, to Erufai. And I felt like that was supposed to be the point where all their egos would be dropped for national interest, and then you have a reason to come together and say, you know what, a divided house going into this election would be, the outcome would be a direct replica of what we saw in 2023. It may not even be that close. And then, you know, when everybody decided to go on their own ways, Atiku stayed in the ADC, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso and Peter Obi went to the NDC. And you just ask yourself, they are coming together. Election is 159 days away from here. Campaign starts next week, Wednesday, the 19th day of August 2026. How much do they want to come up together with? Is it that they will drop their candidacy? Which of the tickets are they going to adopt at the end of the day? There's a possibility that Shey Makinde of APM could also be, you know, on that conversation. There's a possibility that Omo Eleshowe of the African National Congress could also be in there. There's a possibility that Donald Duke, the 2027 PRP, People's Redemption Party presidential candidate, would also be there. There's Peter Obi, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso. There is Atiku and Amechi. So which of these tickets would they be adopting if they want to have, you know, a united candidate ahead of the election? Would it be Atiku and Obi? Would it be Rabi Musa Kwankwaso and Rotimi Amechi? And don't forget that the names of these candidates have been forwarded already to INEC, and their information and details have been published on INEC's, website, including their schools, their certificates, their qualification, their ages, and every demographics you need about this candidate. So there was a meeting also in Ibadan earlier in the year where, you know, a coalition of opposition parties came together and they said they are working on presenting a single candidate. Unfortunately, it didn't materialize. It felt like that meeting was just dead on arrival. Now they are planning another one on the 18th, you know, which is a day before the primaries, before presidential and national assembly campaign starts. How far would that make any difference? Because at the end of the day, all of these people want to have a shot at the presidency. They feel like, listen, maybe the country is not well managed, and we can provide better, you know, governance and leadership. And then you're looking at the age conversation as well. Atiku Abubakar is going into his, you know, late 70s. So if he runs on the ballot, by the time he'll be leaving in 2031, if he wins, he'll be 84. Of course, we have an 84-year-old woman in Osun State running for the governorship, by the way. So I don't know what the intentions around this coalition or these opposition party leaders are, but let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's hope that it's not going to be one of those meetings just to distract us and make us think that, oh, at the end of the day, they'll file. If there was any genuine intention, Stone, the ADC by now, with the way they started, should be flying. You get, they should have put up a formidable, ticket that will be sellable to Nigerians, backed by, workable manifestos and programs, your welfare programs. What do you have for the people? So if by 158 days to an election, all of you are now planning to come together and adopt or present a united candidate, do you know how far that would go? Do you know that there could be legal implications to that? Do you understand? But, well, let's hope that they know what they are doing, because I always want to assume that Nigerian politicians, they all know what they are doing.
Well, that's the assumption that they all know what they're doing. So whether it comes good or whether it comes bad, they know what they're doing. We just get these things, and we really, what do you want us to do? We don't have a choice. We have to accept these things. Okay, state police, presidency closes public submissions today. Tinubu gets final draft September 3rd after presidential working group's appraisal. National Assembly to receive state police bill after president's review. State police law will guard against governor's abuse, says presidency. Okay, okay. I mean, you know, we've clamored for state police for so long. On a more serious note, and I think it's a welcome idea, and we've said this on the table. You know, the sooner the better. But you know, for everything that happens, you know, we have our pros and our cons. Now, one of the cons is, you know, the abuse of the state police. So one of the writers of this story is talking about laws, you know, that will guide the abuse of state police, which I think also is a welcome idea, if you ask me.
Because that's
because we have to curb the excesses.
That's been the major concerns of the people arguing against state police, that it will become a readily available tool for politicians to intimidate or to, you know, go after their perceived opponents. But are we not having the same problem here already? Because commissioner of police in their state cannot even take instruction from who is supposed to be the chief security officer of the state. The governor of Osun State have been shouting that, oh, the police in Osun are compromised ahead of the election. So there are people that still have a control of these things. But again, in life, options come, and then you have to weigh which one would suit you. Keeping the community safe, keeping the state safe, and probably looking at the possibility of the governors hijacking the police structure. Which one is best? I would rather want to have a safe society. If I'm not a politician, I don't have any business in whatever the governor chooses to do with the state police leadership. It's none of my business. As long as I can wake up, move from point A to point B, I feel safe. As long as I can relate to police officers that understand my language and can interpret what I'm not even saying from my body language, that can, you know, acclimatize and get used to the cultural uniqueness or nuances of any community, I'm okay. If the governor they should build a house for the commissioner of police in the government house, it's none of my business. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because you will not even be a governor forever. Let's say you even use the police to hunt your opponents. 2 years, 2 terms, you cannot do more than that. So let's even say for the entire 8 years, you kept going after your opponent. If you leave, you don't have opponents to go after now.
Yeah, so I agree again with you, Okwe, and I don't like to agree with you, honestly, because, you know, but I agree with you. The truth is that even when we weigh the pros and the cons, the pros will always outweigh the cons. And, you know, look, we're tired of being insecure in our own country, in our own supposed safe haven, you know. Someone said, why do I keep saying safe haven, not heaven? It's not heaven. There's a difference between haven and heaven,
of course.
Okay, so, you know, this is our safe haven, and we want it to be safe indeed. So, you know, I would have, you know, floated this thing like donkey years ago, because, first of all, we wouldn't even be where we are right now if we had done this way before now. You know, so I think that is something that we should do ASAP. And you know, the updates, the weekly updates that we get on the creation of state police, you know, is pleasing to me, is encouraging to me. And, you know, well done, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well done to everybody, you know, concerned, everybody who's doing something right, you know, concerning the state police. We've been needing this thing like yesterday. So let's just get it done. And, you know, as we go along, as they go along, you know, as it appears in the newspapers, we will continue to update people so that we know where we are. All right, federal government approves tax waivers for 4,000 electric vehicles. And that's also a good thing. It's a good thing. So, yeah, we're doing well, you know, in certain areas. Well done to our president again. You know, these are the kind of things we want to. Funny enough, you know, somebody said we always read, you know, having bad news in the papers. We're always reading bad. Okay, so I don't know if he's watching. I mean, I'm so excited that for a change, you know, we have a mix, an equal mix, you know, on the papers. We never do have an equal mix. We're always talking about things that really depress people, But today we've talked about the federal government approving tax waivers for 4,000 electric vehicles. That's fantastic. Okay, we've talked about the state police, and we gave you an update on where we are at now. 168 solar street lights stolen on Lagos Ibadan Expressway Long Bridge. Now, listen, this is not about the government at all. This is about the people that the government has tried to serve. Now, when you go along the Lagos Ibadan Expressway and you don't find lights, it looks dark, don't say anything to the government, because the government has absolutely nothing to do with that. They have provided for us street lights. Well, I live off the Lagos Ibadan Expressway, so I mean this directly affects me, and I want to think it affects Okwe as well. So we just have to keep rolling without the street lights, because we have decided to steal what belongs to us. Do you understand? Okwe, I think that you're just on point. We have decided to steal what belongs to us. So you see, if we continue to inflict injuries and damages on ourselves, then we have absolutely no business coming to this table and complaining to government, or complaining about government, or criticizing government, whether constructively or otherwise. We don't have any business doing that. What we need to be doing is telling ourselves the truth. I think that some Nigerians have a mental health issue, and that needs to be addressed. First of all, not even by government. I'm not going to put that liability on government. You need to go and do a mental health check. If you're climbing up the poles and taking off the lights, then there's an issue with you. This is the truth being stripped bare on the table, irrespective of whose ox is God. Now, unfortunately, we find out that most of these things are done by charlatans, people who have no business, being on the streets, who should be looking for, where to do some farming, how to go back to the educational sector, how to look for public schools. Listen, one thing, my parents always said that formal education should really have no age limit. So if you really, back in the day, there was something they used to call adult education. I don't know if that still exists.
Still exists.
If it does still exist, I think these people should be looking for ways to go back, because, somebody was saying yesterday that formal education is a scam. No, it's not. It's not. Because we are where we are in this country because we failed to ensure that, the people that needed to go to schools didn't go to schools. So, I think that most of these people who are doing what they're doing should be in the four walls of a classroom, learning, the right way. Because a lot of them left home, very young. They didn't learn from home, and they're not learning from school. They're not learning from anywhere. So what do you expect? I think we have a big problem.
Infrastructural terrorism is something we don't talk about enough.
Yes, and I think we should.
So when you see public facilities that are supposed to be for the use of the public good, or for public good, and then we talked about the singles being stolen.
Yes,
we talked about it yesterday.
in the Federal Capital Territory especially.
When this Long Bridge electrification thing was done, I think late last year into early this year.
Yes.
For some of us that have seen robbery on that bridge live, for some of us that knows that, you talked about the fact that your car or e-cabby driver that you picked one day, run into it, and you told him that don't stop,
just keep moving,
manage it like that to wherever, because that is one of the
most dangerous
places in this country, especially if you get caught in traffic.
Yes.
And then the government decided to light up the entire place, illuminate the entire place, and see how far we can go. And then some individuals
decided to say thank you
in an unthankful way.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
If you're coming through the Oshodi expressway, the Ketu, Bagada, Anthony axis into Oshodi, at night, you will understand the beauty of that electrification.
Yeah.
Everywhere is beautiful, everywhere is lighted up, everywhere is clean. Even Awolowo in Ikeja at night, everywhere you can literally see everybody moving around.
And they've not stolen the lights.
And they've
yet.
not stolen those ones. But you see the ones here. So when people talk about, and the government has, you also have roles to
So
play.
why do you think they've stolen the ones on Lagos Ibadan Expressway?
Because, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just don't know.
You don't think it's because it's not in Lagos State?
There's still stuff in Lagos too. They remove sinkholes in Lagos.
Do
They
they
remove panel of some public facilities. They steal from the transformers also in Lagos. Do you understand? I think probably because, that one is, this axis is on the dark spot there, it's not fully residential compared to the ones in Lagos. But beyond that, why should you even wake up one
Why
day?
should any human
Do
being?
you understand? Whether it's in Sokoto or in
Doesn't
Abakaliki
make
or
sense.
in Ije-Ekiti,
At all.
why should you even wake up one day? Do you know how far people go? They go to rail tracks.
Yeah,
and
we talked
remove
about that yesterday.
So when trains are
And
derailing,
they chisel bridges
exactly, to remove the rod.
And you know what they're not even thinking is that one day they may be in a bus on that bridge,
And then the bridge will collapse.
and the bridge will
Or
collapse.
their family members will feel it.
Exactly.
Do you understand? But the other part is this. To every, in quotes, stealer, there's a buyer.
Of course.
There's somebody somewhere that is buying those solar
There's a
panels
market
from
for
those
it.
criminals.
Yes, there's a market.
There's somebody somewhere that is buying those sinkholes from those criminals. There's somebody somewhere that is buying the road that they are removing from a bridge, newly constructed bridge. There's somebody buying whatever they remove from the transformer. Do you know it's even crazy? Some people will remove it from the transformer, then they tell the people to contribute money. So they will replace what they remove from the transformer and chop your money. So we as a people, I've always said it, our leadership problem is minimal. The only reason why we are feeling the level of bad leadership we have is that some of our daily existence depends on government policies. Because we're a country where the people literally survive on whatever they get every day. But the bigger problem we have in this country, though, is the fact that we have Nigerians that are not patriotic. We have Nigerians that if your phone drops in a car, they won't call you to tell you to come pick it up. They'll throw the SIM away. They'll start using it. Yeah. We have Nigerians that they will have expired product on their shelf. They will wipe the name, the date of the expiry date,
and put another one. That's so rampant.
Infant medication.
Yeah.
Do you understand, though?
Without conscience.
An average Nigerian is just waiting for an opportunity to cheat a fellow Nigerian. Yeah. So this is not even a government problem.
It has absolutely nothing to do with the government at all.
It's not Dapo Abiodun that went to steal the lights. The lights that is helping all of us, that is keeping us safe. And then you said that in your own wisdom, you need it better than all of us that are using that route. And then you went to steal it. At the end of the day, when you steal it, and then you sold it, and then they give you the money, and then you spend the money.
What next? So what next?
Kini, what is it?
Now the thing is that perhaps they should now start making lights that have this shocking system all around.
So if you are going there illegally, it shocks you. But if you are going for maintenance, they'll chip it off from somewhere.
Because I don't know what else to do or to recommend or to say to Nigerians. This is not the government at all. This is us. Man's inhumanity to man. That's what it is. Simple and straightforward. So, I think it's time for us to see something and say something that, when we are concerned, especially, because if we don't start to bring the culprits to book, then they're going to continue and we are going to be at the receiving end. We're the ones going to suffer it. Because honestly, how beautiful and how bright it was, when they first lit up that place. And, all of a sudden, I'm like, so what's going on? Why is this place so dark? Little did I have an idea that, the lights had been stolen. So, good luck to those who keep stealing the light. I want to just tell you something. Stealing anything at all, stealing a matchstick is a crime. It has often been said that every